Alright, Larry here, working on a Lunar Models Seaview. And before you ask me what the hell I'm doing, working on a Lunar Models 30-year-old kit when the Mobius is out. I've already built the Mobius. I've had this kit in my possession, I guess, since '87 when I bought it. You know, it was quick to realize that I didn't have the skill set at the time to build it. So then Mobius came out with their 39-inch, and I bought that, and I started building it. I started building it, I guess, 2014. I did the blog on Sci-Fi Model Action, where I posted all the the blog for that, and I figured, well, let me build this one alongside it, because this was going to be my test bed for the Seaview colors. You know, and if you'd done any research with the Seaview, it looked like a chameleon sometimes. You know, it was kind of a light gray, it was a dark gray, you know, it was like depending on the lighting and blah blah blah, you know, and then you're dealing with the 8-foot and then the 17-foot. And so anyway, the intent was I was going to build this and paint it first before I did my Mobius. Well, I got really frustrated with this thing here and put it back in the box. So what I'll do is I'll pause the video here and bring up some of the pictures and some of the commentary that I had back in 2014 when I started this thing. So let me pause this here. You'll see some photos and some commentary, and then we'll pick it back up and I'll continue my story. Alright, so after some of the photos that you saw, you know, you can see it was really a lot more work than what you would think. I think the Mobius was a lot easier to build than this thing here. You know, same thing with, I mean, it's a vacuum form kit. You know, seams didn't line up. that kind of thing. I had a lot of problems with the engines not lining up up underneath here. I still have the belly out here, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But there were some things on this that I wanted to do, like I cut the limber holes out, and when I picked this thing back up a few weeks ago, I filled them back in, and I asked Jerry over at HDA Model Works to see if he can build me or make me a template or a mask, and I'm just going to paint them on. This kit is going to be a gift to a friend of mine I've known since high school, known each other a long time. Story about we were sitting in the Bahamas, and he was telling his boy about this cool show on TV back in the day, and he got to talking about Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. And being engineers, we agreed it was a very cool show. So I figured I would correct the problems with this thing and get it to him for Christmas. I'd present it to him for Christmas. So, and here's some of the things that I encountered in the 8 years that this thing has been sitting in a box on a shelf in my closet. I initially put this together with a lot of 5-minute epoxy, and what I found over the years, the epoxy has loosened up and become, I don't know, what do you want to call it, brittle or whatever, but the cohesiveness of it let loose. So the bottom started coming apart, separating. A lot of areas were coming apart. And I think when I started my Romulan bird of prey, or I had started to fix this, and I wound up putting in some of the glue, and I was telling, how the styrene glue just kind of melts this type of a plastic. So anyway, long story short, I went back, I wound up cutting the bottom off, because normally comes in like 3 pieces, the hull. You got a left, a right, and then a bottom. The kit initially came as the movie version, the 8-window version. Lunar Models first released that one, and then I don't know, about a year later they released the TV version, the 2-window one. So it was an add-on kit. So back then, we're talking 88, 87. This was over $100 kit, and I wasn't about to throw the thing away. My skill set has gotten better, so I'm tackling it, and I'm kind of happy with the results. So what I have now, in fact, I had to go back and and put the Cadillac lights back in there on the fins. These are solid. The fins were solid resin. So what I wound up doing was taking a Dremel and cutting a channel up through the side, and then I took a drill and ran a drill in basically almost back to here. So I got the 2 points where they meet, and I snaked in I don't know, what is that, a 2mm LED. So I did that for both sides, snaked it down into the body, and then went back and filled it in with the Evercoat. So as you can see, I'm still in the process of fixing some issues from the glue and from the limber holes. Like I said, I initially had cut out the limber holes, but it just made this whole part extremely soft. Even it was originally extremely soft, and it just compounded the problem. So I went back in, put in some hefty styrene sheet from the back, and then came over the top with the Evercoat, sanded it down. And like I said, I asked Jerry over there at HDA Model Works to see if he can make me a mask for the limber holes, and I'm just going to paint them on black. The dive planes I cut off. You're like, what the hell are you doing? No, I cut them off. What I was going to do was put a rod in here to make them actually functional. So that's what I got down here. These go back on. Like I said, I'll run a rod through that. I have the windows taped over right now because there's a lot of sanding, and I just kind of hoping that nothing gets in there because the pain in the ass to get it out. So I've working on the nose in addition to working on the tail, but this was very blunt. In other words, it came off the came down the windows and basically kind of just rolled over, so it was very blunt. So I built this up, and I'm working it out a little more. The sonar domes, this is part of the TV version. Like I said, you had to cut off the one sonar dome here. Added some little bit of detail, the strip. Also did the detail around the windows. And in the box, I still have a couple of the hell's it, the hatches. So I got a hatch for here and then one for back here. As with the Romulan bird of prey, I've gone in and beefed it up. So I've got some cross bracing inside to keep it from being soft. I mean, the only thing that was keeping this thing from flexing too much was the bottom piece, and the bottom piece isn't much to speak about. Also beefed up the side. This is one, to beef it up, but also two, to give it a better gluing surface. Where the hell I did? Here it is, right here. So I kind of did the same thing here. This is just to give it a better gluing surface with the tester's glue. So I cut this out just to kind of give it an area for the diving bell, and they even give you a little resin diving bell. So I hogged out the bottom a little bit. Got the little mini sub. And then you got a little miniature flying sub, solid resin, and you got the top and bottom hatch, which I need to do a little more work to get it to sit in there. So, actually, I don't have the magazine. I have it in the counter inside. A guy named Jim Key did a build-up of this thing in fine scale modeler in 1988. I still have that magazine. That was going to be my my guide to building this thing here. As you know, the internet wasn't what it was then. I guess what you say it's now. So, but anyway, that's kind of where I'm at here. Again, you know, vacuum form models, not fun. Everything pretty much vacuum formed with the exception of, like I said, the nose piece for the flying sub bay. It actually has a little bit of an interior, which I'll show you. I'll shoot a picture of the magazine and show you what the inside looks like. Basically, I put the crash doors closed, and then you just see the you know, the map table and the hatch for the flying sub, and I got a little guy in there. So I guess for now that's about it. I'll just kind of document this as I'm going. Just like I said, nobody's doing these vacuum kits anymore. I did look on eBay just to see what the hell the thing was going for, and it's crazy. You know, it was like $250 or so for a Lunar Models kit that's not really all that accurate. You know, you can buy the Mobius for, you know, like $120. So anyway, I guess and I do have a bunch more vacuum form kits. So it'll be a good thing to put out there. You know, give people some little bit of guidance, or start a discussion on some vacuum form kits. Even though with the advent of 3D printing coming in, I think all this stuff here is going to kind of go away. So that's where I'm at right now. So we'll just do a little brief update, you know, as I'm getting along here. I'm about ready to close this up. I just want to run some more epoxy down around the lights. You know, I gotta imagine in the last 8 years, glue's kind of maybe changed a little bit. I don't know. You know, I don't understand why the epoxy that I put in here, you know, 8 years ago, basically became so brittle. You know, if that's the case, then what are the models like that were built 8 years ago with that kind of stuff? Are they just disintegrating on somebody's shelf? So I don't know. Anyway, so that's where I'm at. I am repurposing my stands that came with the Mobius Seaview to do this, and then I'm working on a base to put this thing on here. But overall, it'll be a good representation for the Seaview. You know, it's not going to be for the rivet counter. My friend's not a rivet counter. I think he'll be very pleased with just having a representation of the Seaview from a very cool science fiction show back in the 60s. That is it for today. Thank you for looking.